Alright, so done 2 videos in this mini series thus far. Mini series of 4. First video was on the NT oscillations. Second video was on the ST oscillations. This video is going to be on the SF oscillations. For NT, I use the example of video games as NT. Not to say that that's all of NT, but that's an example of NT. I've also spoken about sports as ST. Once again, not to say that's all of ST, but as examples. This video I'm going to be speaking about music as SF, examples of SF stuff. The SF oscillations. And with music, I actually have I definitely know that music isn't the whole story in terms of SF. You have like dance, you have art where you're painting or sculpting, and you also have like cooking and stuff. Those are all like SF activities, but I'm focusing in on music in this video just to kind of get the general sense of how people make music and participate in music in different ways that illustrate their relative levels of extroversion, introversion, judging, and perceiving. So let's start with ISF. That's just when you have like a single artist. Prince, Kendrick Lamar, Michael Jackson, one name. And I was talking with people about this, and they're like, well, what if you have like a band behind them? I think the key thing is like, what is the name? Like, if you're trying to type yourself based on this, like, do I have more ISF or ESF or SFJ or SFP? Look at like your phone and see like, okay, or wherever you have your music stored, like, what do I have more bands or individuals? Do I have more groups or duos? And we'll get into why and groups and duos later. But ISF is like an individual act. Excuse me. Just because it's just the focus is on the person. Not to say that they can't have accompaniment, but the focus is essentially on, well, this person here is like the act that we're selling. We're not selling Maroon 5, which would be SFJ. We're not selling only SFP example I can think about right now is Dan and Shay. I don't know why. They're a country pop duo. But anyway, ISF, single artist. Let's go to SFP. You got a duo. It's weird. I can't think of that many. It's so much harder to think of like duo examples. But you got 2 people going together. It's 2 bordering on like 3 because I don't know. Because maybe some people could say Migos is like the hip hop group is an SFP thing because they're all doing the same thing. But again, it's 3 of them, and they're not really. They're not really like cooperating in the same way you could say like somebody who's. Jeez, I should have thought of this before. What's an SFP example besides Dan and Shay? Oh, Florida Georgia Line. It's all country stuff. I wonder if that's significant so far. But yeah, you got those guys. Not a whole lot of Daft Punk, R.I.P. Yeah, I mean that's those are the types of examples. So I guess it doesn't really need to be. I'd say it's just like 2 as a duo. SFP. If it's 3 people, then it's a group, and you get to SFJ. But we're not there yet. We're going to ESF next. Best example of ESF I can think of is like not large bands, but when you have like redundancy. When you introduce redundancy, it's like we have multiple, not like multiple like bass players, but when you have multiple string sections or multiple percussion sections. I'm thinking of like larger scale, like symphonies and orchestras, and not symphonies, maybe just orchestras. I think symphony is the type of music that orchestras play. I don't know. Symphony orchestras. Yes, I think that's the correct term. But I think that's an example of ESF where you have groups of like singular types of instruments uh, cooperating with other groups of other singular types of instruments in different ways to form an orchestra. That's an example. I don't have a lot of more popular versions of that, but I think that's a pretty basic ESF example. And then SFJ is just bands, Linkin Park, Maroon 5, etc. A lot of rock stuff rock is exclusively bands pretty much, actually. So, um, But yeah, I mean that's going all the way around the circle. You have ISF single acts, you have SFP duos, ESF large bands or orchestras, and SFJ bands. So yeah, that was, now I've done NT with video game examples, different oscillations of ST with sports examples, different oscillations of SF with music examples, and now I'll be going into, in the next video, different examples of NF with not movies, but like TV shows, like that are focused on like characters or stories as opposed to like documentaries and news stuff like that. But yeah, that's going to be the next video, so stay tuned and thanks for watching.